Banana slam jam.
Hello everybody, we're back for another replay analysis. This is a 3K MMR position 5 Bane. So, first and foremost, you are what it looks like against a Bat Pugna or a Bat Quap. You know, obviously in all view here, I can see that it's a Pugna, but I've seen some 4 position Quaps as well as Pugna. But you go for the first item stick. I think that's reasonable. I also think it's reasonable if you want to ferry yourself more mana regen later. But in this lane, I think Windlace would go a long way. Something to consider. I think the stick is really important, and I think the Windlace is also important because they have Batrider sticky for a slow. They also have Decrep later. Maybe just a first item Windlace. We'll see where you end up going. But definitely a good stick lane. And if you have a stick, do you necessarily need to start the game with a mango? That's just something worth thinking about. But overall, pretty good starting items. Let's play it out here. So they actually went Decrep. You're just manning up. So you're supporting a Medusa. I will say, in those engagements where you're going to get a lot of stick charges and you're planning on fighting them a lot, I think it's really important to brain sap like immediately. Like once you lose 75 health, just brain sap. Make it so it'll come off cooldown sooner, right, in the middle of the fight. So obviously not ideal that you gave first blood, but your Medusa did get a kill immediately after. So when I look at this lane, I think my Medusa is going to need a lot of help. If I ever leave her alone, she's very vulnerable, very fragile to just getting like W'd by Pugna and Fireflied over on top of by the Batrider. But that doesn't apply until level 2. So I actually like this, that you leave her alone, you get a nice little pull off. Let's see. Chain pulling is crazy here. The fact that they let you get away with it is nice of them. Can't tell if that guy's serious or not. Doing a good job of giving him solo XP. Not actually a bad TP. I was going to say you're definitely in some no man's land over here. Looks like you're ready to pull again. At this moment, I would definitely be checking the creep wave. I'd be checking to see what's going on over here. Because of what I said based on Medusa needing your help against the Batrider Pugna, similar in the way that you just had to TP away. If the lane's pushing like into her, then you might have to help her if she's getting dove. If the lane's pushing out, like it is right now, you probably need to go assist her so that she can still farm creeps. So in this case, because your carry is potentially in danger, you're not really supposed to pull and farm the pull. You're kind of just supposed to pull because the lane's pushing, but then go help your carry. So this is why I look right now, right? I'm thinking to myself, you know, Medusa, she's level 3, but she does need my help. Based on this matchup. I hope you kind of realize that pretty much any hero against Batrider with no way to remove sticky does need your help. So I would pull this like you did to reset the lane equilibrium, but then you don't get to farm it. I believe you flew yourself more tangos. I definitely think Windlace is of the utmost importance. Kind of already figured that out. Okay. So you're going to farm the pull.
You fought and died. I feel better already.
Okay. I was watching the Medusa's perspective, but not too much was revealed there. Okay. Okay. So this is a 3 Pugna? Kind of seems like it's... Okay. Not bad. I think you're doing pretty much everything correctly. Yeah, that Windlace just needed to be earlier for sure. But hey, you bought Windlace first, so that's good. Notice how you haven't even used the mangoes, right? They're basically 0.6 health regen for you. So what I will tell you is against decent players, this pull through just never works. I think you should get in the habit. I know it's something that like seems nice and you can do sometimes, but what I'm noticing is when you do this chain pull, you're missing the CS first off, And then there's creeps like this that are living, which you could be denying these. So it's just something to think about, that it's not just purely good to go for a pull through the way you are, the chain pull into the big camp. You're missing a lot out of it. I usually only go for the chain pull if it's like absolutely necessary for some reason. Very rarely do you actually see the chain pull, because any decent 4 is just going to walk over and stop you. On top of that, they can't really stop you from just denying this and then, you know, getting that extra creep worth of XP denied. Denying a creep at the pole camp, if both of them are over here, is technically like getting 2 denies, because they get 0% XP as opposed to the 50% of a normal deny. So just something to think about there. Kind of forgot about the bounty runes, it looks like.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Not much else to say about that one. I'd say overall, pretty good job lane supporting thus far. I think that ward could probably be a bit farther up. I just think you're strong enough to walk a bit further. I think you should really focus on denying your own creeps when you pull. Like, these should be getting auto attack denied.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Notice how, like, you're helping the lane equilibrium, but imagine if there's, like, a creep or 2 gone. Okay, so you guys aren't pressuring tower. Medusa's just not a hero that does that. So that's a moment where a support, it takes a lot of awareness, right? 646. You know this camp's gone because you already farmed it. What could you have done in this 646? You know, what could you have done before the 7-minute mark? What I talk to a lot of people is like, what is my next objective?
Go call monkeys a sellout real quick plaza.
That's really only like the thing you have to worry about is like, what do I have to do next? And so for you, you're probably thinking 7:15 pull is what I have to do next. I'd argue you should go stack that medium camp next to your tier 2 top. You had 8 seconds from like, or 9 seconds from like right here. I think you'd make it. If you don't make it, then you'll learn. Hey, I needed 10 seconds. Just something to think about. Notice how you flew yourself more tangos. You have brain sap plus like a wand, you know? Like, if anything, I would have flown myself a salve instead of these tangos. This isn't exactly a lane where you're constantly trading. They're either like going on you and doing a lot of damage, or not going on you and not doing a lot of damage. It's not like they're poking you down, right? So this is a kind of a bad understanding of when to buy tangos. I pointed the mangoes out at the start of the game. Usually in any lane I go stick. Very rarely do I also need mangoes, unless I'm just some spamming hero like Crystal Maiden or something, or Lich. Bane isn't exactly a spamming hero. 14-second cooldown. Like, by the time you've brain sapped them, in this lane they've probably used 4 or 5 abilities. Then you have to factor in mana regen, you know, like innate mana regen. So we're trying to eliminate all of these random times where you're doing nothing. Whenever I have a carry like Medusa, I should always have it in the back of my mind to stack if possible. Okay. It looks like you've now got it in your head a bit late, but better late than never. Nice stacking. You're going to pull top. Overall, very good. Very good. Gonna stack again. Okay. I haven't really seen you look at the lanes in this meantime. I think the only thing I want you to get better at that I'm seeing so far is the information gathering. I don't see you looking at items. I don't see you looking at levels. I don't know anything about this Monkey King bottom. I don't know anything about your sniper or whatever. I want to see what's going on in the game from your perspective. As support, the beauty is you're spending a lot of time just walking around. Try to get in that habit, collecting yourself any information you can come up with. And if any of it's relevant to your team, you can communicate it, right?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scared.
Okay, so you're going for hyper greed on the stacking here. And get yourself some nice influx of gold.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, soaking some XP from lane while your carry's gone. Good. Check and see if your other support took the tome. I assume he does, but sometimes they don't. Didn't see you check. Okay. Doing a lot of stacking. This seems like a pretty easy game, like the opponent's not doing anything, and you've kind of just spent your entire time stacking. I think it's really important that if you're going to stack like this, you either find a lane that you get your 6, or you sit on your team while they farm the stacks. Looks like you have a mid-sniper 4 invoker. Okay, okay. Okay, co-op ulti forced. You had absolutely no vision down there. I understand that you forced an ult, but I don't really think that like accomplished anything. Like, you kind of just walked up a hill blind, saw nobody on the map, and then just died. That's the type of play you do when you see like 2 heroes top, and you're like, oh, they're not here, and maybe I, you know, go for it. Fast forwarding here, you're gonna stack again. Notice how this whole time you're stacking, even the 5 or 10 seconds that you're just sitting there, I haven't seen you look around the map at all. Like, the best way to understand how much somebody knows about what's going on in the game is to see the information that they're gathering. Like, I'm watching this per game from your perspective. I don't know about anyone else that's watching this with me or watching this on YouTube. I have no fucking clue what's going on in this game right now. I've watched almost all of it from your perspective, and I'll be honest, I think a lot of the stuff you've done is pretty good. I think your laning was overall pretty good, except for a couple things we mentioned. I think like the fact that you have a Medusa and you're stacking and there's not too much to do because you're not level 6, fine. There's probably somewhere in here you could have like soaked the XP on the stack or something to get your level 6. But with everything you're doing right, I just have no fucking clue what's going on in this game right now. That's really all there is to it. I have no clue. So remember that. Like, think if somebody's watching the game through your eyes, how much are they gathering? And that's like pretty easy to tell how much you're gathering. I don't know any of the power spikes of my teammates. I don't know if my DK, I don't know what item my DK is going. I don't know what items my sniper has. I don't know what sniper items my Medusa has. I don't even know if my invoker is Quas Wex, except for the fact that I saw him cast Tornado one time. Like, you know, I don't know anything. So that's really important for you. So you're going to soak your level 6 from this. I would definitely have a smoke prepared for my level 6. I don't think this is a good use of your time. I guess it's okay. I guess in your bracket this is okay, because the enemy is not really going to punish you, and nobody on your team really wants to be here. So I guess this is okay. Usually I would say, you know, I got my ult, let's buy a smoke and go kill somebody. So you're actually just going to set up on this guy instead. Okay. That works. You know what? Good players would have seen you TP there and then not gone there and done that. But hey, you know what? You don't have to do anything super fancy. As long as you're utilizing your spells and it look like you ping to communicate, great. Okay, here's the deal, man. Simply put, you've just gotten a kill. Okay? What the fuck are you doing here? Right? If I'm a core and I get a kill like this and my support's hitting the creeps, if you heard my last game I just played, we were pushing tier 2 bottom, but we also had mid lane pushed in. And Moon Meander was like, and I was DK, and I had a Bloodseeker and a Witch Doctor. And the entire enemy team had kind of shown that they were top and mid, so they weren't contesting the tier 2 push. And Moon Meander was like, hey, guys, like, we don't need to have 3 heroes hitting that tier 2 bottom. Somebody come mid and maybe we can get a kill. Or at least don't tell them we're 3 people bottom. You know, like, that's a big deal to just have 3 people bottom. So in this case, my example is you guys just got a kill. They're showing 3 people on the map. They're clearly not here, right? Like, the opponent isn't here. Don't just feed them unnecessary information. Like, don't feed them information they don't deserve to get, right? Like, this isn't something they should know. After you get this kill, they should have no fucking clue where you are, unless they have a ward or something, right? You shouldn't be giving them that for free. You could maybe go stack the big camp. You could go walk over and pick up your arcane boots. You see 3 bottom. That's a great opportunity to place a deep ward in the top half of the map. That's like a perfect opportunity to do that. That's something where you don't get these opportunities very often. So making use of them is fantastic. And instead, you're just hitting the creep wave with your DK. That ward could have been at the other high ground, for all we know.
Bottom tower has fallen.
There's a fight going on bottom. I don't know how to happen.
Killing spree.
So in this game, I think it's actually reasonable that fights are taking place top. Anyone watching, anyone watching currently live, and anybody watching right on YouTube, ask yourself right now, why would BSJ be okay with fights happening in what is normally known as the dead lane? And my answer would be that the dead lane means that you're reacting to what they're doing, or you're trying to shut down their objectives. And that generally means you're on, like, the defensive, which usually means your late game is better, or you have heroes that want to farm. In your case, you have 2 incredibly passive cores, Medusa as well as Sniper. So I think maybe there's a little bit too much being given up bottom to this Monkey King hitting a tier 2. But I also think that it's reasonable things are happening here. It's just that, yeah, all the other stuff is that I talked about.
Dire's bottom tower, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So the reason why I don't like picking Bane is exactly what you're seeing here, where when your teammates aren't clearing waves, you kind of just find yourself right-clicking them, which feels pretty awkward. I feel like you guys... Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, overextension. Unfortunate Monkey King stun there.
Hello, this is Bane. Thanks for playing Dota 2. Double kill.
You guys did make a move to bottom. You're going in pretty deep. They all TP here, so you know they're stuck. Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So you're clearly all about supporting. You know, you're mangoing your teammates. You stacked for them all game. This is a perfect example of what I saw before. Do you have any contribution to this tier 2 tower getting hit? Do you have literally any? And the answer is no. Your entire team is here. They have 3 people showing on the map and 1 dead. Are you needed here? No, you're not, right? So either TP mid, TP tier 2 and set up for your team. Maybe you could nightmare one of them and do a DK stun. I'm not saying there's something beautiful to be doing on the map right now, but why the fuck are 5 of you showing on a tier 2 bottom? Like, why? Why are 5 of you here? Like, you just won the fight, you got the tier 1, the enemy team is showing 3 heroes elsewhere. They're not fighting you again, right? Like, they're not. So don't be prepped like you need to fight again. This is a perfect example of a support version of wasting time after a kill. This is the equivalent of a core hitting a jungle creep after you guys have won a fight. That is the equivalent of this from the support role. You guys just lost a tower after you won a fight. You guys just lost a tower. I'm glad you were able to contribute your 100 building damage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
So as of now, you guys should probably choose to play around top and mid. Because there's a Roche, and there's nothing bottom anymore. So I think this smoke is actually pretty good. Why, BSJ? Why is this smoke pretty good? Because I want you guys playing around top and mid for the reasons I mentioned. And you guys didn't have any vision there, and you were walking into that area with no vision, right? So it's like, you don't have any vision here, and you want to take it over. That's like the perfect time to smoke. It's like, we want to occupy this part of the map, and we can't see shit. That's like a perfect opportunity to smoke. That's usually one of the most obvious reasons that comes to players when they're at the high level and they're trying to smoke, is they're like, we want to play around Roche, or we want to play around this tower, or whatever, and we don't feel like we can just walk there, right? We feel like we have to get a ward up, and if we, walk through an enemy ward without smoking, we're all just gonna die, This is a great version of that. So this smoke's pretty good. The ward's pretty reasonable. You guys catch a Monkey King? Great. Cool.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Nice ward.
I guess.
Overall, pretty good warding during team fights and during movements. I'd say that's quite good. These are game-winning plays on supports. Looks like you got it underneath the tower potentially, but either way, it gave some crucial vision in the brief time it was alive. And I'm gonna wrap this up. Here. Wait, let's see. This game goes on for 50 minutes. You know what? I'll watch it a bit more, just because I usually only spend about 15-20 minutes on replays. But I'll go through one more major objective. So you guys try to retake this high ground. I think that's pretty reasonable. You're going to try to secure Roche. Good. Your overall warding around objectives is pretty solid. I think it's important that you guys protect that if possible, or that ward. And you decide to force the Roche anyway. This is a bit scary, but they were showing. Okay, there's a DD rune. Let's see. Oh. I think you're a bit jumpy with your gripping, but the fact that the opponent hasn't really canceled them, I guess that's okay. How does this work out? You guys are going high ground with Aegis, BKB on Medusa. Okay. Remember what your job in the fight is. I would say your job this game is to Nightmare the Batrider as soon as he lassos. I would say that's your job. And since you have an Ether Lens, and you have... Oh wait, the cast range doesn't come until 15. No. Either way, you have an Ether Lens, and I would say going into team fights as a support, it's really important to identify what I think I'm going to do with my spells, if possible. So then you're just reacting to whatever happens, rather than trying to figure it out in the middle of the fight. So this fight, looking at their heroes, I definitely think your most useful ability is your Nightmare, obviously, since you've used your ultimate already. And then I'm like, okay, am I against a Necrophos where I'm going to Nightmare save one of my teammates? It's like, if you Nightmare the guy getting lassoed, he's still going to get dragged into their base, right? So it doesn't do anything. The only way you can kind of prevent it is Nightmaring the Batrider himself. So this kind of shows in your positioning that you're not thinking about this kind of stuff. You're kind of just walking up. Nothing you do matters here. All you have to do is prevent your teammates from getting dragged into tier 4s. That's all you have to do. I know that maybe you don't play against Batrider too much at this bracket. I feel like this is the first time I've done a 4K or less game with a Batrider in it. But the only thing that hero does in terms of base defense is he drags heroes into the tier 4. And that's almost impossible to play against if that works, right? If that's able to be done. So in this case, your brain sap doesn't matter, Nothing here matters. Who cares about any of these fucking spells except for Nightmaring this Batrider? That is all that matters. And you weren't ready for it at all. Really important to think about supporting that way. So they Monkey King ult, okay. Sniper's a bit ham, but you end up Nightmaring him. Okay. And you guys throw the first high ground push. I do think you had a decent portion of that. I think you allowing your DK to just get lassoed without even trying. Like, if you try to do it and get, like, stunned or some shit or orchided, you know, that's one thing. But if you're just not even attempting to do what needed to be done, then that's, like, why we're here talking about your, you know, replay. Oftentimes when I'm new to a support or I'm playing support for the first time in a while, I forget these things, you know. I also think you had 2,500 gold here and just didn't buy an item. I think Force Staff could be really nice. I think Glimmer Cape could be really nice. I think Yules could be really nice. Yules is really nice against Bat Rider, against Pugna, against Monkey King. It purges the Jingu. It purges the Ghost Scepter or the Decrypt. It makes Bat Rider not lasso somebody into his base, you know? So since I already have this Ether Lens, I'm thinking Glimmer Cape for positioning / save, or I'm thinking probably Yule Scepter to interrupt their shit. Like, that's probably what I'm thinking, because if Monkey King's going to ult, I don't necessarily want to just push R on him, and maybe I've used Nightmare already. So it gives me another little interruption. But I just see you not buying any items. You did buy back. I am gonna wrap this up here. I'm curious if you guys win though. So you guys do end up winning. So obviously it's a bit of a rough game, meaning like it looked like you could have won maybe 25 minutes in, but it only ends up taking till about 43. So overall, pretty good. I will say, looks like you're doing a lot of things right. The big takeaways are what you do after you kill somebody and general information collection. Both of those are like your major weaknesses right now. So there's a little other things we talked about, but those two really stood out to me. So best of luck improving.